Ipsos Public Affairs, a social research corporation, put out a global research project trying to find out what Trump's America First message, if it resonated with a global audience. They wanted to find out the global resonance of anti-immigrant rhetoric. And maybe they were surprised to find out that in a global context, a strong plurality of global citizens believe that immigrants do take jobs away from their countrymen. And additionally, a near majority of global citizens understand that immigrants also take away social services. So you can look at the graph there and you can see it's just totally racist. These are just all racist countries. No, this is people around the globe who understand that when you bring people in who are going to vie for the same jobs at a much lower pay scale, are going to compete with jobs as well as social services. It's just facts and science. But that's not all. In recent weeks, Trump has also been mocked by critics for saying that China is killing us economically. But a new analysis of U.S.-China trade shows that the trade gap isn't just at a historic high, but in fact, the imbalance is the widest for any bilateral trade ever. So this is according to the website howmuch.net. The U.S. exported $116 billion to China in 2015, and the same year, China exported $481 billion to the United States. So that's a $365 billion gap. You can see that little image there. So they also found that this gap is growing so fast that it will almost quintuple over the next 15 years. So something else Trump likes to bring up is that a lot of the issues we're having with our jobs and our economy here in the U.S. is because of the disastrous trade deal NAFTA.
In early March 2016, the Spanish company Cintra Zachary, who partnered with TxDOT to build the controversial TCC, or Trans-Texas Corridor, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Many of the highway's critics celebrated the news of the toll road company's failure. But this is just a single battle won in a much larger war. This battle, which InfoWars covered extensively in the past, is over the construction and completion of a NAFTA Super Highway, or corridor.
Building on the massive displacement of humanity caused by globalization, the New World Order is rapidly constructing the physical infrastructure of the North American Union, the NAFTA Super Highway Control Grid.
The TCC was the first leg to be completed of this new transportation system that would physically unite Canada, the United States, and Mexico into one borderless trade zone.
The proposed Trans-Texas Corridor would be a patchwork of superhighways and railroads stretching 4,000 miles from the border of Mexico, cutting through Texas to Oklahoma.
As we covered in our film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, the plan for a North American superhighway included a high-speed rail system that would transport cargo from Mexico non-stop to an inland small port in Kansas City, Missouri. Economic trade deals and supranational committees, such as the Security and Prosperity Partnership of North America, signed in secret in 2005, have paved the way for massive multinational corporate projects. But what happened to this scheme? Now, with Cintra filing for bankruptcy, it would seem that this larger-than-life plan simply fizzled out. However, this is not the case. In 2011, the highly criticized TTC plan was shot down by the Texas legislature when they passed HB 1201. But HB 1201 had many amendments attached that would keep the Spanish-owned Cintra satisfied. Just days after HB 1201 passed, which killed the TCC on the surface, Texas State Representative Larry Phillips introduced HB 3789, which brought the corridor back to life with a vengeance. Cintra's original deal with TxDOT was considered a PPP, or public-private partnership, essentially a sweetheart deal, giving an offshore privately owned company the same powers of the state, such as the power to change the state speed limit. HB 3789 strengthened these private-public partnerships, giving more power to offshore monopolies by giving them the authority to sign deals with the state of Texas in secret. I-35, the central artery of the Texas interstate system, is considered part of the NAFTA Superhighway. And the Kansas City Inland Port, which is part of the TCC, is now up and running. Other NAFTA super corridors, whose construction began around the same time as the TCC, have also never ceased. One plan in particular, the Canamex corridor, runs along the west coast of North America. According to Canamex.org, the Canamex Corridor Project is a broad-reaching plan whose key objective is to create a direct trade route from Canada to Mexico. This initiative is being supported for its development and implementation by the U.S. states en route for this plan: Montana, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. The website continues to describe some of the longer-term plans for the trade corridor. The Canamex Corridor was also specified by NAFTA to include a railroad system to match the advances in highway construction and vehicles with advanced rail systems. These are intended to take the form of larger, longer, and more efficient trains, making the maximum use of technologies such as double-decker cars and multiple engines that can pull immensely long trains. The Canamex Corridor is currently being managed by several companies, and like a connect-the-dots puzzle, is slowly linking smaller highway systems to form a larger trade route that will run from the southern border in Mexico all the way to the northern one in Canada. In March 2015, U.S. Senators John McCain and Jeff Flake added corridor extensions to the Intermountain West Corridor Act of 2015. According to the Phoenix Business Journal, this federal act was also extended to the I-11 corridor north from Las Vegas to Reno and northward to Canada. So, plans for North American trade corridors governed by secret committees and international trade agreements like the SPP and now the TPP are moving forward. The Kansas City Inland Smartport is open for business, and it does not seem like the Centra bankruptcy did much, if any, to damage their long-term goals. Rob Dew reporting for Infowars.com and Infowars Nightly News.